Well, Coronation Street has finally confirmed and acknowledged the fact that Debbie Webster is going to slowly degrade on our screens. And despite all the pleas and the thank yous and the hopes and the take it back, Abysmal Nation, take it back, unfortunately, Coronation Street are holding strong. And now we've finally got a little press release and a trailer to watch, which discusses the start of Debbie Webster's dementia storyline. Now, it is going to be it's going to be a hard one to watch, because Debbie has very quickly become, when she was brought back, she struggled to necessarily fit in. She was in the mold of like snarky, look at you, big snarky. She's just going to give people lip and she's not going to be that likable. Because ultimately she wasn't that likable when she came back. That's my perspective on it. She was palled up with Ray Crosby, the sex pest, and she was very selfish and didn't really treat family like family, and it was mostly just about snarking everybody. So fundamentally, I think that they've done a really good job at making her someone we're going to miss, because we are going to miss Debbie because of the last couple of years, and the last definitely 2 years, I'd argue. She became a huge staple of the show, and it really became one of the big highlights of the show, with her relationship with Ronnie, with finally being siblingly with Kevin, and her relationship with Ryan. They truly have started to make her so important, so integral, and they really have been trying to make us miss her. And that's why there's been so many cries and pleas about, don't kill off Debbie. It's not worth it. We don't want to see this happen. We really, really don't. But maybe they'll have something that we can kind of get with and understand and appreciate even more. So I think I've done enough stalling. Let's now look at this document. So it should be showing up on both sides. Right, brand new trailer, Debbie's Dementia. Watch our dramatic new trailer giving viewers a first look at Debbie Webster's dementia storyline. I'll pull this up full screen. Whoa. Okay, so she's getting married. Oh, it's going to be very tragic if this is the case. There we are, meeting Carl. Okay, Carl looks much better not in this preview, I won't lie. I'll just zoom in a bit. I want to make it I'm not going to show the feed anyways. This is Debbie hitting her head on the ground. And that's the trailer. 15 seconds of trailer, not much change. So this essentially is going to be the start. It's going to be the start of Debbie, going to be the start of her downfall. But yeah, so honestly, that's not much. All we know is obviously Carl is imminently going to show up. That's Kevin and Debbie's brother. Carl looks much more interesting, not in the pictures. In the pictures, it made them really look quite bad. And Debbie and Ronnie are going to get married, which I think is going to be a nice little, lovely little, interesting aspect to it. But yeah, let's get back to reading this article. Excuse me. In next week's episodes, Debbie grows concerned about her memory loss and books an appointment at a private clinic, believing her symptoms may be related to menopause. After discussing a series of recent incidents shown as flashback scenes, including a blackout and fall, the doctor advises her that he wants to have a further test, as he's confirmed she's showing symptoms of early onset vascular dementia. A shocked Debbie decides to keep the potential diagnosis to herself, and if she says nothing to her friends and family. Coronation Street producers and the story team are working closely with Dementia UK on this long-term storyline. Note long-term as well. This isn't going to, and they'll explicitly say it as well. Yes, Debbie is going to be leaving, and the dementia will likely result in her death. However, this is supposed to be a long-term storyline, and they will get a lot more attention and a lot more. This will get a lot more attention, and it will get a bunch of the. It will get a lot of time, is what I'm trying to say. From everything it says, this will get a ton of screen time. And that's important, because if you want to tell a long-term dementia storyline, like how Eric Pollard has, I think he's Parkinson's. I could be wrong. But still just a very big, it's important you tell these things over a long period of time. Because if you don't, you will end up just not doing it justice. And considering they've proven to not really, with the kidney stuff with Carla, they have proven to not really be as they showed a little bit of disregard for the actual story. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Shock Debbie, yep. Coronation Street producers and the story team are working closely with Dementia UK on this long-term storyline, which will explore the effects of young onset dementia on Debbie and those close to her. Over the coming months and years multiple. And as I've also been saying, I do think this story will be Kate Brooks. I do think this story will be Kate Brooks's biggest, like, the most glowing. This will define her era. Debbie's dementia will define this era of the show, as you're taking a much beloved long-term character and slowly having them lose all function, similar to Paul, but probably more long-term. And once again, it's important to say this isn't a storyline where Debbie's going to die in 3 months. This will be happening over years, which will give the best account of this storyline, because dementia doesn't just kill you in 3 months. It's a long-term ailment. It's a long-term illness. And yeah. Actress Sue Devaney said of this storyline, "It is an honor and privilege to be given this sort of storyline. A lot of people are saying, why give it to Debbie? She's so vibrant, she's so full of life. But I think that's where a good story lies, because it's somebody that has everything, and also words are important to Debbie. She is a quick wit, and everything is so important. Money and success, she's been dealt this hand of illness, and it's going to be interesting to follow her journey." Coronation Street producer Kate Brooks said, "With 1 in 2 people being affected by dementia, we felt this was such an important story to tell for the simple reason that it resonates with so many people. Having a character as vibrant as Debbie Webster and an actor of Sue Devaney's incredible talent and caliber at the heart of this storyline was key to unlocking the many emotions that come with navigating this diagnosis. We're working closely with Dementia UK to ensure the story is told as truthfully and sensibly and sensitively as possible, whilst never losing sight of a person behind the diagnosis. This is a story about family, about community, but ultimately this is a story about love and how love can provide light, even through the darkest of times." Christ, I'm even getting emotional just reading this. My God. It's finally dawned. It is finally dawned that, we will be losing Debbie. And as I said before, Debbie's become a staple. She's become so key to Coronation Street's kind of wit, charm, intrigue, and just the fact that we're going to lose her in such a devastating way. It's really gonna suck. It's really gonna, test how we all feel and how we all deal with this. We're working closely with Dementia UK to ensure this story is told as truthfully and as sensitively as possible, whilst never losing sight of the person behind the Yep, I already said that. Young onset dementia is any form of dementia that develops before the age of 65. As dementia is frequently considered a condition of old age, The early symptoms of young onset dementia are not always recognized or may be attributed to other causes. Comment from Dr. Hilda Heo, CEO of Chief Admiral Nurse Dementia UK. We are pleased to be working alongside Coronation Street on this storyline, which we hope will debunk the myth that dementia is a condition just associated with old age. Our dementia specialists, Admiral nurses, support many people like Debbie who are living with young onset dementia and understand the challenges that living with the condition can bring. The production team has worked closely with our consultant, Admiral Nurse for Young Onset Dementia, to deliver a sensitive depiction of what it's like to live with the condition. We hope this will encourage people to start having more conversations about dementia and reach out for support from our Admiral nurses when they need it. And just because it's kind of really piqued the interest, core stats about facts in dementia. An estimated 7.5%, 70,800 of the estimated 944,000 people living with dementia in the UK are living with young onset dementia. Every 3 minutes, someone develops dementia in the UK. 1 in 2 of us will be affected by dementia in our lifetime, either through caring for a loved one with a condition, developing it ourselves, or both. 53% of people in the UK know someone who has dementia. Oh, bloody hell. Good Christ. That's fucking depressing. And obviously, this is all the helplines and the guides if you need or want to speak any of that. I'm going to try to now... I'm going to try to not dissuade. I'm just going to try to talk frankly about it. I've never dealt or had any person who... I've never had anyone in my family who's tackled dementia or any sorts of this disease, anything remotely close, and it doesn't really count in a way. Is I do have a family member with multiple sclerosis, which is, some of the symptoms can be kind of similar in a different way. I think this really is, and I do believe that even just by reading a news report, suddenly I'm getting choked up about this. I am genuinely gutted. I knew that once it was kind of confirmed, I had no idea or belief that they would change it, because you don't go into this storyline lightly. But also, I do know that it's going to be one of the most harrowing storylines in soap going. It's a very big, bold storyline to tackle, and you can now tell that they are giving it the necessary amount of time it needs and deserves. This storyline will be significantly hard to watch, but it will tell a fantastic story. And yeah, sure, you can kind of talk about Coronation Street and how difficult it has been to enjoy for the last couple of years, but fundamentally, you're pitting Sue Devaney, an absolute saint, an absolute fantastic actress, and someone who is truly talented, and really, we've not had enough time with the character, considering she was there for like a little bit, and then she left, and then she came back. But it's, this feels too soon. It does feel too soon. But I will say they're in a good position to do this, introducing their brother Carl, her getting married to Ronnie, and just generally stabilizing the Websters and this big family unit genuinely makes me quite proud and content that I know that this will be handled with the right amount of time and the right amount of seriousness that this deserves. And like I said, it's devastating, but also dementia is devastating. It's supposed to be telling a real life story, and this one will hurt. It will. And I've not even dealt with this like personally, and even just thinking about it is kind of making me get quite upset. So yeah, it's gonna be a harrowing watch, but I firmly believe that Coronation Street has the ability to tackle this storyline with the severity and with how important this needs to be told, and will give it the right amount of time want to fully flesh it out and make it truly one of the best. Will it achieve that? Time will tell. But as I've been saying, I truly believe this storyline will dictate the pace for Kate Brooks' tenure as executive producer, and maybe this will be the storyline that pits Coronation Street back atop that soap pyramid, re-establishing it as the best soap. Time will tell, and we can only speculate about the future of this, but I will say we've all been trying to hope that it's not happening. We've been putting our fingers in our ears saying it's not happening. Now that the news has been fully announced, what do you think about the storyline? Tell me in the comment section down below. I've been Ash from Watching Walford. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye.